Together we are but first coffee. Susie's just our host, but what matters most is we are a team. Together we are all safe here, and so are you. Among friends and mods we are safe. We talk about trauma, break down drama of life, death, happy or sad, even mad. We discuss it all here. Together we will thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Together we fight cults or fight addictions. If not with experience, with love, and we don't judge. Please understand this is a safe place to land. Please understand you're not alone. This is a safe place to land. Together we thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Because we are but first coffee, and Susie welcomes us all here. Together we are but first coffee, and Susie.
Well, I don't know how I turned my mic off, but I think it's on now. I was just talking on it. Oh, well. So, anyway, so good to see you. Is it I know it was muted. Is it going now? Yeah, I think so. I don't know, I must have bumped it or something because I was just talking to James back okay, good. I was just talking to James backstage, so I know I had it on, but you know me. So, how's everybody doing? Gosh, I missed you guys. I hate when I take time off. I absolutely hate it. But, day before yesterday, I got a migraine, and so I had to, cancel that show, and then yesterday, honestly, I had had the migraine for so many hours, and I actually had one of those cool caps on, that's cold and it comes down and covers your eyes and everything, and so I did that, and I took this migraine. Yeah, I know you were just talking to James, Lord Kiss Freak, I know, and I'm jealous on both parts. But so anyway, yeah, I had that on my head and everything, and I just was in so much pain day before yesterday that yesterday I just like was exhausted. So I canceled yesterday too. But we're gonna be making those shows up. So I appreciate you all being here. So anyway, I'm gonna check in with the chat real quick and see what you're doing, and then we're gonna get started. David, it's good to see you. Mayor, as always, wonderful to see you. We have Hockeytown John is in the back office. He will be starring comments and watching for any trolls, along with Mayor, who's out front. Mischief has a headache today. We are just passing the headache around, y'all. I'm wondering if it has something to do with allergies and sinuses and everything. Because even John said that his sinuses are driving him crazy. So I don't know. I'm kind of wondering because my migraine, I mean, it was definitely a migraine. It had the light sensitivity and the nausea and the pain and the whole bit, but it was odd. It was felt like it was in my face more than just in my head. So, I don't know. It was just weird. So, I'm just wondering if it has to do with sinuses. Hey, Joel, good to see you. Thank you again for being a member. Just a quiet, peaceful dance. Always good to see you. Keep my shorts. Good to see you. Ooh. Cool. He finally got his flight simulator fixed, so I'll be listening while I fly around Vancouver. That is cool. Yeah, that is cool. Yeah. Hmm. Let's see here. Aw. This is sweet. I always miss everyone when we don't have lives every day. I do too. I do too. I really truly do. It drives me nuts. I mean, even whenever I was with the cold hood thing on and everything, I was still kind of pouty because I was like, "Ugh, it's time that I'd be doing my show. Ugh, wonder what everybody's doing." Yeah. Yeah. It's nice heat whenever you're here to attend these in real time. I agree. That's always good. Hey, Say, good to see you. Encarnasoul just popping in to say hello and catch some live, as typical of friends Zoom call times, so it may just be on replay. That's okay. It'll be fine. We'll forgive you this time. Oh. Hey, Lord Kiss Freak. Yeah, Lord Kiss Freak is driving, so he'll just be listening. And I am jealous, y'all. I am jealous. He actually stopped by and saw James Collins. So, two of the people that I want to meet, I mean, there's a lot of you, but two of you actually got to meet today. I'm just going to have to move to Canada. That's all there is to it. Everybody's in Canada, it seems like. Hey, Lady Cat. Good to see you. Brazy, good to see you. Oh, I know. I know. This is so true. Whoops. I love this community. Everyone is always respectful. I think so too. I do. I really do. I think that we have just an amazing, amazing community. So, Teresa Colvin, good to see you. Trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. Lord Kiss Freak says, wait a minute. I was just talking to James. Yeah. And I heard you got some strawberry syrup or some strawberry, yeah, something strawberry. Yum. Yes, I am feeling better heat. I really am. I still have a little residual headache, but, after after the migraine part of it goes away, it's just like, "I got this. I can handle it." Yeah. So, yeah, barometric pressure changes too. You're probably right, Lady Cat. You really are. Yeah. John is saying that dang cottonwood, it's bad this year. Yeah, we have a lot of cottonwood tree. We have this beautiful creek that runs behind our property, y'all, and there's, like, waterfalls and everything. I mean, it's gorgeous, but there are cottonwood trees that run all along that, and, of course, when the wind blows, and it has blown every day for the last 2 months, I swear, it just coats our cars with it looks like it's snowing outside. Yeah, allergies have been brutal. I'm like, they probably think that I am just making this up while my nose is always itching, but it truly is. See, I'm itching my nose. It truly is such a bad year. Oh, really? You've been doing the Botox injections for your migraines? I've wondered about that. Yeah. Wow. I need to talk to my doctor about it because this is just, I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of it. I never used to get them until I had chemo, and after I had chemo, then I started getting them. Oops. David was wondering if you checked out the finders ties to my theory. Oh, no, I have not. I've had such a bad headache, but it is written down right over here. Yep. Find in the finder, CIA involved. Yep. It's right there. I'll try to look it up, but after I got off of here the other night and then all the next day I had a headache, so I didn't do it, but I'm going to. But thanks for reminding me, because if I had not wrote it down, I would have forgotten by now. Oh, Mare had her regular FaceTime call with her goofy granddaughter. Those are so sweet, though. Hey, Stacia. Good to see you. No quoting songs. I'm just kidding. But you do tend to get those songs stuck in my head. Yeah, I gave you jam. That was it. Not, yeah, strawberry jam. Not, I knew it wasn't syrup, but I couldn't think of the word jam for some reason. I don't know. I make jam too, but I don't ever have enough strawberries. My strawberries just don't do well. My mother-in-law says it's my soil, but, I've thought about going and buying them from the farmer's market just to make some strawberry jam. I haven't yet. And I haven't tried my, maple syrup that I got. Um, yeah, I had one. I can't her name has just escaped me. But anyway, one of the amazing women that I interviewed, um, and I do know her name. Oh, no. But anyway, she sent me a big glass. I mean, it's big. Looks like a big whiskey bottle with the cork in it and the little metal part that comes over and clasps over the cork. It's so cool. But she makes, she taps her trees and everything and makes syrup. So she sent me some. So I'll get her name before the show's over. Probably it'll just pop into my head. So, oh man, it's gonna drive me nuts because it's like right there. Yeah, everybody's saying that they hate cottonwoods. Yes. We have a lot of cottonwood trees and a lot of cedar. And we try to keep the cedars cleaned out because in the climate that I live in, they are notorious for fires, and they just burn so hot and everything. And oh, so we try to keep them cleaned out as best we can. Yeah, there you go. Don't go breaking my heart, little turd. Ugh. Brazy's gonna sing with you. Yeah. Music is a mind control. Yep. As much as television, we are just unaware. I believe it. Hey, John, good to see you. You go ahead and weld, buddy. You go ahead and weld. Oh, add some sand to my soil. Okay. Yeah, we do have part of our sand or part of our soil is very sandy, but I don't think it is. We have those raised beds. And so I'll tell him that. Write that down. Sand to soil. See what I mean? I've already, y'all. If I don't have my little card next to me and write stuff down, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, wow, no known allergies, you are. Yes, it was Angie's friend that sent the maple syrup, but I can't think of her name. And I know it is the thing. Uh, yeah. But it's Angie's friend. Why can't I think of that? Oh, well, I will. I can picture her, but I can't think of her name at the moment. Oh, oh, it's gone again. Anyway, guys, so welcome back. And before I get started, my mind's doing 100 miles an hour. You know how I'm always saying that, uh, there was two things that I really, really liked about the lifeboat. One was you all, the ones of you that were on the lifeboat, and we have a lot that are here, that they're just lurking or they come in later on the replay. But we have a lot of people that were on the lifeboat. And I used to go over there and I just used to like to sit and watch the chat and interact with them some, but mainly just watch all of them interact and everything. And I think that that's what made me really this was before, before I had my channel. And so I whenever my chat started doing that, it just makes me so happy when I see y'all chatting back and forth, with each other and everything. So anyway, that's one of the things that I liked about the lifeboat. The second thing was I liked where he made a big deal over any wins that anybody had, whether it was so many days or years or whatever, sober or just, anything that was good in your life. And he would like hold up the trophy and, being everything. So I bought a trophy. Yeah, I'm gonna copy. Ugh, as bad as I don't even wanna think about it. I am copying Brett Miller, but this one says, "Thrive, not just survive," and it says, "But first coffee." Can y'all see that on there? So this is our Thrive trophy, and so when y'all tell me about wins that you have, and you might have to remind me for a while. So, because 'cause I'm kinda forgetful, y'all. And between being 59 years old and having just gone through a year and a half of chemo, I'm very forgetful. So, anyway, if I don't remember it, y'all tell me because I just am so excited whenever you all go through any kind of triumphant time, whether it be with your sobriety or you graduated from some class or you got married or just anything. Wow, he was on the lifeboat from its maiden voyage. How cool. So, anyway, just remind me because we are gonna brag on everybody for their little celebrations. That's what we're gonna do from now on, okay? Hey, Sammy, good to see you. He's tattooing, good. Yeah. So check your yeah, check your I think it is your text. I think I text you a couple times, but it might be email. But anyway, just check. I will talk to you later. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome back. As I said, I took a couple days off because of a headache, but that dang thing is gone. So, anyway, I'm back and I have a guest that I'm very excited about today. And he is just such a sweet, sweet guy. I don't know. I don't know him well, but I hope to know him better after today. I've kind of, held off and not really, investigated into him too much. I did go watch some of his live or some of his videos and stuff, but anyway, I did do that to get a little bit of a hint of who he was, but you all probably know him as Sam's kind of super mod like Mischief is here, and his name is James Collins or James Collins Cares because he always says, "Don't forget, James Collins cares. James Collins cares." Yeah. If nobody else does, James Collins cares. So I am excited to meet him. We're going to bring him on here and we're just going to have a conversation because I know how much y'all love those just, conversations. So that's what we're going to do. So, anyway, without further ado, here is James. Hey,
Thank you for having me, Susie.
I'm really glad to have you here. I really am.
Yeah, fantastic. It's always great to connect with another human being on a
Oh, yeah.
on a deeper level.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
just say
You know what?
quickly about your headaches. I think that it possibly could be related to all of the things above, the pollen,
Yeah.
as well as like the moon
Mhm.
cycle just coming into the full moon. That affects
Oh,
people with
yeah.
arthritis and other things. So it potentially could be affecting your migraines.
Yeah, it might be. It might
And then
be.
for strawberries, we'll have to chat about that. I have over 500 strawberry plants in the ground. I
Oh,
grow the June
wow.
bearing variety, and I have a pretty good understanding of plants in general. So
Mhm.
when we're not in a live stream, we can get deeper into your strawberry patch, and let's see what I can do
Okay.
to help you boost up your berry production.
Good. Thank you. I will love it. I'll make Mark sit in on that one because he takes care of it most of the time. But yeah, that'll be
Excellent.
great. I'd love to talk to you about it. So,
A big shout out to
so,
Teresa, my sister from England. I see her up on the screen right
uh,
now. Thank you so much for joining
yes.
us. I know it's really late over there in the UK, but thankfully to your community, she's a wonderful person to chat with. And
Aw.
she happens to be a night owl. So she's able to join us here this evening.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, there's Lord Kiss Freak, long time no see. See,
Yeah,
just rubbing
yeah. It's
it
been
in.
like,
He's just
oh,
rubbing it in.
it's been like 25 minutes since I've seen you, my brother. You drive safe now.
Oh, he got a tour of your garden. You're just making me more and more jealous.
Yeah.
He's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I like to show off the garden whenever I really get an opportunity because
Mhm.
sometimes videos don't do it justice.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
when you're only one human being and people see the size of my garden, they're like, how do you do this by yourself?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, don't come into my house and see that I haven't been to the laundromat in 5 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it. I get it. Ours is just little, but Mark takes care of it, but he has to, he works constantly. He works, 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. And so he just mainly gets to take care of it in the evenings or a little bit, in the afternoon on Sunday. But
Right.
yeah, he loves it. He loves it. That and trying to keep this place mowed because we've got a huge yard. There's just a lot to do in the spring and summer outside.
There
There
really,
truly
really is,
is.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I have 2 strawberry patches. I'm working on getting to 4 because the
Uh-huh.
variety of June bearing that I grow, in year 1, they produce very little fruit, but they produce a lot of runners, which give you new
Uh-huh.
plants. But
Yeah.
in year 2, 3, and 4, they go into heavy fruit production. And
Oh,
then in
really?
year 5, they really drop off. So generally, after year 4, you dig up all your plants and replace them with 1-year-old plants. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to get to 4 patches so that every year I have 3 that are in the heavy fruit production,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
And so
That
my
makes
one
perfect
my
sense.
one garden is in its first year, has 160 plants, but my garden that's a second year, it's 3 feet wide and 50 feet long, and has over
Oh,
500
wow.
plants in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
We don't have near that. We don't have near that. But we do have a granddaughter that likes them. So every time she sees strawberries out there, she's just, like, picking them all and running home with them. She just
right.
fills her
That's why you
pockets, you
probably
know?
don't have enough for jam. You think you don't have as many
Yeah.
berries, but the child's out there
Yeah.
chipmunk in the back, right?
Yeah, I could just see her little cheeks full, you know? So Mare is saying, "Does James live in the Great White North?" So,
I
yes,
do.
you're from
I live in the
Canada, right?
Ottawa. I live in the Ottawa Valley, close to our country's capital, and
Yeah?
it's beautiful here. We're surrounded by lakes and rivers, and open fields, and deep
Mm,
forests. There's just a
wow.
little bit of everything. You were talking about maple syrup. I'm about an hour drive from Lanark County, which is the maple syrup
Mhm.
capital of Canada. They
Oh,
produce more
wow.
maple syrup there, or sorry, of Ontario. They produce
Mhm.
more maple syrup in that region of Ontario than any other part, and our province is pretty big.
Wow. Wow. It's just so crazy to me to, to figure out the different providences and how they have different completely different, landscapes and everything. It's really interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
'Cause people will tell
It's a
me,
pretty
"Oh, you
blessed
don't wanna
country.
live here, you wanna live there," and, they're always, because 'cause I'm like, "I can't take the cold. I can't take the really, really cold." 'Cause I
Well,
keep telling Mark I wanna move to Canada, but he says, "You can't handle the cold." I'm saying, "I would try, I would try."
right. Well, like in a
Ye
12 month period here where I live, we get anywheres from -40 to +40. Right?
Wow.
We get everything. We get crazy windstorms, massive thunder and
Mm.
lightning storms. We get
Wow.
snow squalls that could just drop 2.5 feet of snow in like 3 hours, and you're snowed in. Um,
Mm.
yeah, we
Yeah.
get everything. Like we get the beautiful leaves in the fall because we're in a
Oh,
maple
yeah.
syrup country. We have maple
Yeah.
trees everywhere, and the brilliant reds and yellows and
Mm.
oranges. And people drive from all over the world to come here. And well, they don't drive here
Yeah.
from other countries like
Well,
over
yeah,
in
I know
Europe,
what you mean.
but they come from all over the world to come to this
Yeah.
area and drive around and just view the foliage. It's pretty awesome.
Wow. Wow. That is so amazing. We're wanting to do take a train across Canada. And so we're thinking about doing that in the next couple of years. Soon as he retires, which is still up for debate, he keeps putting it off, and I keep saying, "Doing it now, do it now."
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
So,
you guys will have a blast. You guys will have
yeah,
a blast. Like,
yeah.
it's so different. Like, the west coast of the country's got, like, mountains that, you can't see the top
Mhm.
of. And then,
Oh, wow.
you get through, to the prairies where legitimately you can't see, like, you can see the horizon line because it's so
Mhm.
flat. And
Wow.
then get into Ontario and Quebec where we have the foothills, and
Mhm.
it's just like rolling hills, and we don't have mountains here, but we
Mhm.
have things that used to be mountains. Like we have ski hills here and ski resorts where people go and enjoy
Oh,
skiing,
wow.
but the mountains are 20 million years old or whatever, so they're not
Oh,
tall
wow.
anymore,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Wow. Wow. Oh, I can't wait. I wanna do some exploring of Canada, and I have so many friends that live there now that I wanna just go visit everybody because I wanna do some more exploring here too in the States, but Canada just seems like it's like a different world or something. I don't know.
well,
I'm gonna
I
have to
think that
really pick
a
my
lot of
time.
places in your country too, like the Badlands, right?
Yeah.
And the Grand
Yeah.
Canyon, and
Oh, yeah.
like you guys got like the Everglades
Yeah.
in Florida, and then the
Yeah.
deserts of Arizona, and you
Mhm.
got the rainforests up in Washington. You
Mhm.
know, you
Yeah,
guys
we're
have a
going,
beautiful
oh,
country
yeah,
as well.
we do, we do. I've traveled a lot of the country here of our country. So, we are going to, South Dakota in, I think, the end of August or the 1st of September. I've got family in South Dakota, and I've never been there. So,
Cool.
Mark has been, but I've never been there. So, anyway, we're gonna go check that out and see a bunch of stuff, and I don't know, the
Traveling
Badlands and all
is
that, so
so cool. Yeah,
oh,
traveling
I
is just
know.
so cool. I've been
Yeah.
blessed. I've been from Nova Scotia to British Columbia in my own country. I've
Mhm.
been to Jamaica and Spain, and I've been to Amsterdam a few times. Got to represent, you know, it's my home away from
Yeah.
home. And I've been to Sweden and Finland and
Oh,
Germany
wow.
and the Czech Republic and Slovakia, Austria,
Oh
Hungary,
my god.
Romania. Yeah, I love to travel. I love to go to,
Uh,
yeah, I just like to go anywhere where there's culture that's different and
yeah.
you can just
Yeah.
immerse yourself in it. And yeah, it's just
Mhm.
fantastic.
I've only been out of the US once, and that was to go to Canada, but I was young. I don't remember much about it. But, my ex-husband, my, former husband, he worked so much that I followed him all over the place, but it was within the country, it was within the US. And so we traveled all the time, but it was within the US. And so now, Mark, he's my second husband, and I mean, we've been married for 23 years, but,
Wow.
he
Congratulations.
loves to travel. Thank you. He loves to travel, and so, we're gonna do a lot of that once he retires, which I think is gonna be this year, so we're already planning stuff for, like I said, either August or September, and then we're going to Florida in December. So we've already got 2 trips planned, so
Very cool.
so and he, of course, he
Very
wants to
cool.
fly everywhere, and I wanna drive because I love, like, all the little offshoots, and if you see something, I like to stop at little junk stands and stuff along the way. You never know what
Yeah.
you're gonna find, and if we took
Yeah,
our
and
own
that
vehicle,
small
I could
town
haul
of,
it
like,
home.
the small town of
Yeah.
80 that has the breakfast place where you get the best home breakfast that you've
Yes.
ever had, and you're
Yes.
just like,
I
"I've
know.
been cooking my own breakfast for 50 years. Why can't I make this breakfast?" And it's
Yes.
'cause of some 80-year-old lady who's been making breakfast
Yeah.
every day for 65 years, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Most of the states, including Alaska and Hawaii, so I got the hard ones out of the way.
Cool.
So, yeah, I loved Alaska. Loved it.
No
Absolutely.
doubt.
It's like a whole different world too, though. It's like stepping into like almost like a time zone, It felt like you were back in like the 80s or something or the 70s. Like the cars were mostly older and, because they just rust out so much with all the salt and everything for or, for the snow and ice. And it was just amazing. I mean, looking at the older buildings, but not like old, like historic. I'm talking about, just like 70s and 80s. And I don't know. I mean, there's new stuff too, but, but the little
Yeah, I
town
always
that we
think
were
of, like,
in,
you know,
Fairbanks, was
Alaska holds
very
this place of, like, gold rush times, you know?
yeah,
Dirt roads and
yeah,
dog sleds, you know? And I know it's not like
yeah,
that anymore, but hey, that's how I'm gonna picture it, so that's how it is to me,
yeah.
right?
Well, we were at Fairbanks, and I absolutely loved it. We were there for 2 weeks, and I did not wanna come home. My son-in-law was stationed there in the Army, and
Cool.
so he and my daughter had just got married. He came in on leave, actually, and they got married, and then he took her home with him. And then he was supposed to have gone off onto some kind of not a deployment, but like a training thing for 2 weeks. And so he said, "Well, y'all come here and stay with her. I don't wanna leave her here. She doesn't know anything, she's brand new. She just got there." And so we did. We booked the flight and went there, and then they canceled his trip.
Oh,
So he
no.
was there the whole time, and I'm like, if y'all would rather be alone, we can go home." And he's like, "No, this is great." I mean, because he
Yeah,
was still
yeah,
having to work, so he was busy all the time,
a
but it was
blessing in
beautiful.
disguise, right?
Yeah. There was a lake there that we drove to, and you had to go down these, gravel roads and, twisting and turning and everything, and I was just like, "Oh, where are we going?" But anyway, we finally got back to this lake, and you could see the bottom. No matter where you were at in that lake, you could see the bottom. It was that crystal clear. It was just
So
amazing. It wasn't very
cool.
deep. So, yeah,
Or
it
or
was
or you or
amazing.
you think or you think it's not very deep, and then you realize it's
Yeah,
still 80 feet deep in the center,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
it might
so
have been
clear.
that, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the bottom, it was gorgeous, it was absolutely gorgeous, and we went to a town, uh, they called it what did they call it? The North Pole, that was the name of it, the North Pole, and, we went there, and it's decorated for Christmas year round,
Yeah.
and so that's actually where the kids got engaged at. She had went to visit him on spring break, and they got engaged at a Chinese restaurant at the North Pole.
Oh, wow, what
So
a fantastic thing.
yeah. Yeah, they've got some stories they can tell their kids. Cause yeah, when they had a Christmas party for the army and they sent him to go get Santa, so she and he went and got Santa, and they hit some slick spots on the way back and did donuts in the road with Santa, and Santa looked like he was gonna throw up, he was so scared,
Man, that's
but it
so
was just
cool.
hilarious. I said, "Oh my goodness, what great stories those'll make," you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but
My
and
Uncle
he
Mervyn actually he was a big man and could
mhm.
grow the snow white beard.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he did the Santa Claus in the Santa Claus parade in a small town not
Oh,
far
wow.
from here every year for I can't remember over
Mhm.
10 years.
Oh,
And
wow.
because he knew horses and everything like that. It was a big horse-drawn hay wagon, and
Mhm.
Santa was on, and yeah,
Mm.
any Santa story is gonna open and brighten
Oh,
up a
yeah.
child's hearts, right?
Absolutely. Well, let's get to know you a little bit. So,
Sure,
I had a lot of people that said that they don't know who you are. They see you on Sammy's channel, but they don't actually get to talk to you. So,
right.
just tell us a little bit about you. Like, I don't know, just start wherever you want and just fill us in a little bit.
Um, okay. I am not a therapist, but I am a carapist. You know,
Okay.
I like to say that I'm a professional carapist, and it's
Mhm.
something that I learned through a life of adversity.
Wow.
I always like to learn things the hard way. Uh,
Yeah.
and well, hey, you know what? You just got your trophy. Tomorrow will be 6 years alcohol free for me. 6 years
You
ago
get to
today,
be
I
the
had my
first.
yeah. Six
You
years
get to
ago
be the
today, I had my
first.
last beer. A
Yay.
good friend of
Aw.
mine, Brian, was dying of stomach and bone cancer, and
Oh.
I had buried so many homeboys and friends as a
Mhm,
medical marijuana activist. I got to meet a lot of people that were
mhm.
suffering with terminal illness, and that when I found out that he wasn't going to make it, I just said, like, you know what, bro, you're not going to make it through this one sober. Or
Yeah,
if you don't get sober, like, you're not
yeah.
going to do it, you
Yeah, you're
know.
not gonna make it. Mhm.
uh so I called a friend of mine and I was like, Pete, bro,
Mm.
I need you to do me a favor. I need you to come and get my dog for like 60 days. And he's like, oh, where are you going this time? Africa, India? Because I've been talking about taking off for a couple of years. Like
Yeah.
going that I was like that I wanted to go for a couple of months to India or Africa and go and do some humanitarian work, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I was like, no, dude, like I gotta get off the alcohol. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
my buddy's dying, and I was
Mhm.
like, I just, I don't think I can do this.
Mhm.
This getting off alcohol thing without some rehab.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he's like, bro, you quit crystal meth without rehab and without going to a treatment facility. He's like,
Yeah.
you can beat alcohol. And I was like, well, how, bro? And he's like, stop buying it. And I was like, oh. And he's like, "Oh, just stop drinking." I was like, but bro, I'm like a Viking, bro. I need my beer or something. And he's like, well, buy non-alcoholic beer. And here I am,
Mhm.
6 years later, alcohol free by the grace of the creator, the source, and the collective, and all things wonderful, and the support group.
Yeah.
Understanding as well that, like, I wanted alcohol out of my life for
Mhm.
more than one reason, but the main reason was I was learning a lot about negatives in life. and
Mhm.
how we can control a lot of things in our life, but some of the things we can't. And
Mhm.
if
It's
alcohol
true.
was bringing negativity into my life and I could control that by no longer having alcohol, which would no longer bring those negatives, then
Yeah.
I need to do that for myself. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I just gave up the alcohol, and now I've got like 20 years off meth, and I have 10
Oh,
years off all
wow.
other hard drugs, and 6 years alcohol free. I still consume cannabis,
Mm.
and
Mhm.
occasionally I've been known to eat a psilocybin mushroom or two.
Mhm.
And I'm a strong believer in, if it's brought here to source by the creator and it has
Mhm.
not been modified by
Yeah.
any means, then like there's spiritual plants that are meant to be here to give us enlightenment. And these are my
Mhm.
beliefs,
Yeah.
ayahuasca, datura, psilocybin mushrooms, salvia divinarum, all of these medicinal plants serve their time and their place with the right
Mhm.
people in the right mind frame with the right intention, because those drugs are not addictive. Like
Yeah.
you ain't gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna just take some more ayahuasca this weekend. Not gonna happen, And
Mhm.
or like mushrooms, right? If you ate mushrooms every day, after a certain point, your body can no longer it doesn't no longer get affected by the
Oh,
psilocybin in a
yeah.
way in which we think. Our body adapts to it, and we get this medicinal effect of, hey, I don't hate myself today, you know?
Wow.
And you can get up, and all of a sudden you used to sleep 6 hours a day and 8 hours at night, but now you're sleeping 8 hours
Mhm.
at night, and you may be catching an afternoon nap, and you're just feeling
Yeah.
better about life. And maybe, just
Wow.
maybe, it gives you the strength to realize that you can't do this alone, and you call one of them 188 numbers, or you call a homeboy or a friend or a family member that you can trust and say, like, hey, I'm struggling and I need
Yeah.
help, and I don't have the skills to get this help. Can you help me? Right?
Mhm.
And that's
Wow.
it is an important topic today, especially because June is Men's Mental Health
It
Awareness
absolutely
Month.
is. It
And it is on
Yeah, we're
top of
doing
that, it's
several
men's
shows.
health, and it's Alzheimer's awareness, and it's a safety awareness month, and it's LGBTQ Pride Month, and it's all of
Yeah.
these things. But to me, as a man who has
Yeah.
suffered with mental health issues most of my life,
Mhm.
those other things that are being celebrated or being awareness brought, I don't give them any thought. And it's not
Yeah.
because I don't care about people with Alzheimer's or
No,
that I
yeah.
don't, but like almost 800,000 men between the ages of 18 and 49 killed themselves last year,
Mm.
right?
That's just
That's almost a
crazy.
billion. That's almost a million of my brothers that were
Yeah.
suffering so
Mhm.
badly that they felt no other solution than
Mhm.
to leave this planet and all of their sadness and suffering behind them.
Mhm.
And
It's just heartbreaking.
it's my goal as a human being to share with people that through kindness, compassion, understanding, and love, we destroy fear, hate, anger, and aggression. And let's destroy the stigma around mental health issues, addiction issues,
Mhm.
and any type of hate. There's a
Yeah.
solution to all of it. There is a solution to all of it. And that's an open discord. Is to sit down and
Mm.
listen, actively listen to what other people have to say and think about it, not just wait for our turn to speak.
Mhm.
And hopefully through that we can heal the friendships and the family members and build new friendships and a strong
Mhm.
community in the world.
Mhm.
And yeah, so that's a little
This
bit
is
about myself. I'm an ex gang member, ex drug addict,
Oh, wow.
and I want to change the world.
Mm. This one that says, "Testify, brother," that's Hockeytown John in the back. He's my mod in the back today, and he's been doing shows with me. We've got 2 next week about men's mental health. So,
Awesome.
this one works right in there too. I'm glad
Yeah.
that we're doing this now because,
Yeah, I
it goes
will
right along
testify.
with
I'm
it.
gonna write now to anyone who's
Yeah.
watching this live or anyone who's watching this in the replay, please call a professional and get the help you deserve because you deserve
Yes.
it. But you have to do it for you, my brother
Mhm.
or my sister. But you have to do it
Mhm.
for you because if you get sober for somebody else, they can take it away and you're going to be using again.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you do anything, if you put your happiness in someone else's hands, it can be taken from you. Get
Yeah.
happy for yourself because then the other people that you love that you want to have in your life will want to be in your life as well. Some
Mhm.
people, they do not know how to deal with people that are suffering, so they run
Yeah.
away because they're afraid. It's not because they don't love you and that you don't deserve love. It's because they're
Mhm.
afraid. And when people are afraid, they hide or they run, right? It's
Mhm.
what they know. It's not their fault. It doesn't mean they don't love you. You're loved and you deserve
Yeah.
peace and happiness in your life. So please reach out and find help with the people that can help you. And it might not be the first therapist, it might be the 10th therapist that you speak to
Mhm.
before you finally find a person that you can trust and you can open up all those gateways that you've closed down and you can turn the lights on in those dark rooms and you can get the skills that you need to become the human being that I
Wow.
know you can.
Yeah.
So there's my testify for you, my brother.
Absolutely. I know John's back there loving it. He's going, "Yes."
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. I
It's not,
wondered where you got all the tattoos. Was that from your gang days? I
you
can't
some of
imagine
them,
you in a gang.
some of them. But my respect tattoos for my mom. My mom made me
Aw.
promise. She took me to get my first tattoo, and she had to sign the paperwork so I could get my first tattoo. And I
Aw.
remember after that saying, "I'm going to get my whole body tattooed. I can't, and it's going to be awesome." And she's like,
Aw.
"Whatever you do, my son," she's like, "do not tattoo your face while I'm still alive." And she died on the 21st of June, 8 years ago. And that's the summer solstice. It's a very religious,
Mhm. Yeah.
spiritual day for myself and a lot of people. And I kept my promise for 2 months. And on the 21st of August that year, we had a solar eclipse. And I called up my homeboy,
Really?
who's an award winning tattoo artist. And I'm like, "What are you doing this afternoon, bro?" I was thinking of coming to Ottawa and getting some ink. And he's like, "Thinking of tattooing your face?" I was like, "Yep." He's like, "You gonna put respect across your forehead in like cholo gangster letters, like you always said you were?" And I was like, "Yep." And he goes, "I could put you in at 2 o'clock, bro." So
How
yeah,
cool.
I went down and tattooed respect across my face for my mom because you see, to me, if we respect ourselves,
Mhm.
then we automatically people see that we carry ourselves with a respect,
Mhm.
and therefore, if we respect ourselves, we respect other people,
Yeah.
right? Being an
Yeah.
understanding human being is a matter of respect to me. Not being a racist is a matter of
Mhm.
respect for me.
Yeah.
Not judging a human being for their faith or their
Mhm.
preference in the bedroom is a matter of respect for me,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
as long as I
Yeah.
respect others and it gets reciprocated, I don't demand respect, but I give respect. And if you
Yeah.
don't give me respect back, then the people will see the person who grew up in the ghetto with gang culture, you know?
Wow, I just cannot imagine you. You're so thoughtful and so just well spoken and everything, and I just try to imagine you being like a gangster, like some
Yeah,
guy in a gang. I'm just like, it's just so crazy. But I can't imagine Sammy either. Like, he's
right. Well, when you find that place in your heart
Mhm.
that you realize that violence and aggression is weakness. And our
Yeah.
whole life we talk about having strength. Well,
Mhm.
if your words make, or if I allow your words to make me so angry that I physically put my hands on you, then I
Yeah.
lose, right? Then
Yeah.
I lose. And I'm not a fucking loser. Pardon my
Yeah.
language,
Oh, you're
but
all
I'm not
right.
a loser. I'm not going to allow someone else to make me a loser.
Yeah.
That's why I got
No, that makes
sober for
sense.
me. right? I got sober
Yeah.
for me because that way no one can take my sobriety away from me.
Mhm.
Their actions and their words, they can say what they want and they can do whatever they want to. It's not going to
Mhm.
cause me to go and use,
Yeah.
right?
It's
And
beautiful, actually.
learning that, like, go ahead and put your hands on me if you think you can harm me. And you
Yeah.
will find out very quickly that I'm not afraid of
Yeah.
confrontation. You know,
Mhm.
as people
Me
say,
either.
saved not soft,
Yeah.
or whatever. Don't mistake my kindness for weakness. I'm
Mhm.
more of like I'm a Gemini to the
I am too.
deepest.
Well, we have the
Yeah,
same birthday.
we share a birthday, right? My sister,
Yeah.
right? Um, but if people really want to know who I used to be, my kindness and understanding is a direct reflection of the human being I used to be,
Mhm.
where I didn't have understanding and I
Mhm.
didn't have kindness, but I had
Yeah.
aggression and I had ego. And it was like, oh, you want to say something? I will physically show you why you aren't going to use
Mhm.
those words towards me. And
Mhm.
legitimately, that made me a loser. And I don't want to be a
Yeah.
loser, you know?
It's really strange. I have another friend named Sam that, he had a lot of the same kind of background as Sammy, did. He didn't lose his wife, but he lost a lot of family members, and, to drugs and different things, but anyway, he lives in Maui, and he's the guy that has done, 2 I think all but 2 of my tattoos. I have 9, which is not very many, but still, I have 9. I'm tough.
I
And,
have one.
yeah, I'm sure you do. But, anyway, he he was that way too, he was into gangs, and he went to prison, was tough in prison, had a rough, rough life in prison. And he is one of the kindest souls now, and I have really seen through people that he's introduced me to even, and just other people, I've got a couple of cousins, that some of the people that have had the roughest life turn into the most lovely, kindest, most caring people. It's like they do an absolute flip, and that's how I feel it has to be with you. You've went from one extreme to the other, and this is you.
Yeah.
It's kinda, how they say that love and hate are not the opposites, that they're really, really close together. I think it's that way with kindness and violence. I think that they can be very close together too, because so many people do go from one to the other
Yep.
and
Well, and
stay
it's like
there.
this too, right? In gang culture and stuff, we always call each other dog. What's up, dog? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Well, that's the thing is, see, we are in a sense, we were like dogs. We were like that
Mhm.
pit bull in a bad house that beat us and abused us, so we became
Mhm.
violent. But then we got put
Yeah.
into a shelter, and some loving family came in and was like, "Oh, look,
Yeah.
this pit bull ain't so bad." And they bring that pitty home, and they give him treats and
Mhm.
belly rubs. And next thing you know, that pit bull's the best, most kindest, loving dog in the world. But don't fuck with its
Yeah.
family, you
Yeah.
know.
Absolutely.
So people would,
Absolutely.
I feel myself. That's it. I was like a dog that was kicked one too many times, but
Yeah.
then
Yeah. I get it.
I got brought into a healthy home,
Mhm.
and I guess in a sense I got lucky because like when I went to sentencing for my arrest, I'm a convicted federal drug uh, charges in Canada for production of cannabis without a license
Mhm.
and possession of cannabis with the intent to distribute and the
Mhm.
manufacturing of cannabis extracts uh, it wasn't worded that way, but it was pretty much production of cannabis with the intent to distribute because I was making
Mhm.
hash and honey oil and all these things, right?
Uh-huh.
And my uncle was living in Holland at the time that I was going in for sentencing. And I said to my lawyer straight up, I was like, bro, you get me off, you get me house arrest, or you get me prison time because I'm not going to jail for cannabis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jail's full of
Yeah.
all these people trying to make a name for themselves. I was like, you get me 2 years or more so I can go to prison and just do my time. I
Yeah.
was like, or I'm leaving. I was like, or I'm on the next plane to Amsterdam and I'm never coming back. Right.
Yeah.
And you know how they say, like Sam says, lawyers talk in the back or whatnot.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure, like, my lawyer had just said, like, man, if we can't get this guy like house arrest or something, he's legit ready to be like, hey, just send me to prison forever. Because if you send me for
Yeah.
6 months, you might as well send me for life because I'll lose everything I have. He's like,
Mhm.
or he's just going to go to another country and never come back to Canada. So, like, what can
Yeah.
we do? You know? So
Yeah.
I ended up, because it was a nonviolent crime, there was no weapons.
Mhm.
That they were able to be like, hey, look, we can give this guy house arrest. He's not going to go anywhere. It's just some marijuana plants, et
Yeah.
cetera, right? And
Yeah.
that saved me
So how
because
long
for
ago was
shit,
that?
18 years ago, it was this April,
Wow.
18 years ago, I was sentenced.
And so now
Yeah.
it's legal, right?
It is. It is. And it's
Yeah.
funnily enough, they gave me a license to grow more marijuana than I got arrested with 20 years ago. You
Of
know, and
course.
now my medical license, like, because I got a medical license because we're all allowed to grow 4 plants, but that wasn't enough for
Mhm.
me. And I wanted to grow them inside where I could control everything. And they're like,
Mhm.
okay, we're going to give you this medical license. This is how much your doctor says. And we're going to let you store 30 pounds in your house. Like 30 pounds. That's a freezer full. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
like, man, you guys really messed up this legalization thing. Like, you
Yeah.
guys wanted to put me in prison for like a tenth of this. And now you're like, oh, it's okay. Grow as much as you want, fill your
Yeah.
freezer, you know? Yeah,
Not crazy.
it's a bit
Uh,
crazy, you know?
yeah,
But
I
if
have a
any of
medical
if any of the
license
people in the
too.
chat have any questions, I'm an open book, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
same as you, Susie. If you got any questions, I'd be more than glad to answer them.
So, how long have you been a Christian?
I'm not a Christian. Well, actually,
Oh,
in a sense, I am, because Christianity just means the believing of Jesus, and I believe Jesus
yeah.
existed. But
Uh-huh.
if I had to label myself, I'd say I'm a neo-pagan,
Uh-huh.
because
Okay.
I believe in many gods,
Mhm.
and I believe that Islam is right, and I believe that the Christians are right, and I
Mhm.
believe that the Jews are right.
Mhm.
I believe that everybody's right, you know, and
Well,
that
everybody
due
else
to,
believes everybody's wrong,
you know,
you know?
a lot gets lost in translation and language,
Absolutely.
you know, and they
That's what
all
I
talk
say.
about pretty much the exact same thing. I believe in a creator. I
Yeah.
believe in the source of all love that provides
Mhm.
us everything that we need. The creator did its job. It created,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
now that part of creation is probably still everlasting creation throughout space, in a sense, because if
Mhm.
space is everly expanding, so the creator is doing that. And then through source,
Mhm.
the source has brought me everything I need. The source brings me water. The source brings me food. The source brings me love. And then I believe in the collective. I believe in the collective of everyone out there that prays, and they're praying for strangers, and they're praying for loved ones,
Mhm.
and you know, they're praying for people that are in famine, or people that don't have enough money, or people that don't have
Yeah.
clothes. And they're just people that are out there, and some of them are Christian and some of them aren't, and they're just like,
Mhm.
oh, please help these people that don't have. Well, I'm enjoying my meal and I'm being blessed with this. Please make sure that everyone has enough today. So I
Yeah.
believe in that energy, and
Yeah.
that it can bring us all together. And through choosing this lifestyle, it helps me live a life with less judgment, because
Mhm.
I can say that, oh, you believe in Jesus Christ as being the creator, son of all things, and love and being, and that he gave his life for all of our sins. Well, bless you, you're right,
Mhm.
right? Because who am I
Yeah.
to say they're wrong? I
Yeah.
wasn't there,
Yeah.
right?
That's I talk about that all the time about how, I have a real disconnect from, organized religion. Because to me, organized religion translates to man, to they've made this religion. They're preaching it to you. They're, telling you their interpretation of it. And how do I know that their interpretation is right? And everybody says theirs is right.
Yeah,
So who's right? Everybody's right. I
yeah,
mean, why not?
Yeah, and like a lot of people have lost their lives because of a lot of different religions.
Mhm.
And if you're killing somebody in the name of your
Y
God, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you have it wrong. Like I'm
Yeah, me too.
just saying. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like
And the
God,
thing is that doesn't mean that the entire for lack of a better word, that the entire religion is wrong. It means that those people that are doing that are wrong. Those that are
yeah,
interpreting it that way are wrong
right. See, I
because
like to bring that sports. I like to bring sports into it, and I'm not a big sports fan. I don't watch organized sports. I think that it's part of the bread and circus, and it causes people to argue. My football team's better at this and
yeah.
that and the other thing, right? But let's just say the Toronto Blue Jays baseball team, right, is the Christians.
Mhm.
If one of those Toronto Blue Jays goes and does horrible, nasty things to children,
Mhm.
that's not the entire baseball team.
No. Mm-mm.
Stop blaming the Toronto
Yeah.
Blue Jays because one or two of the ball players were bad humans,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And that happens
Absolutely.
to the
When
Christians a lot. It's like,
yeah.
well, Christians are bad because they protected these priests. Well, no, some Christians were bad because some
Yeah.
Christians helped protect these priests, but don't
But
throw
not
all of
everybody.
them. Yeah, you can't throw
Yeah.
them all under the bus because a couple of dozen of them were real low life,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
There's a lot of good
Absolutely.
Christians out there. There's a lot of good Muslims out there. There's a lot of good
Yeah.
everybody's out there. There's a small
I think so
percentage of people
too.
out there that are horrible.
Mhm. I
Yeah,
agree with you, actually. I call myself a Christian, but I kind of I don't know, I'm not actually completely comfortable with that because I don't think everybody but me is wrong. I don't think that everybody that doesn't believe how I believe is wrong. I think that what about people like in Africa or whatever that are in different, tribes and everything that still live very tribally that have never had the opportunity to have heard organized religion. So are they just all doomed to hell because they've never heard the word,
right,
you know? And
right.
so that alone tells me that there's got to be something, to where we're not just these people are right and everybody else is wrong because everybody thinks they're right. Every religion out there thinks they are the one that's right.
Yep.
And I don't know, I just have never I just don't I don't know. I always say that I don't fit in with anybody. It's kinda like politics. I'm too liberal for conservative or yeah, too liberal for conservatives and too conservative for liberals. So I'm just a mess between
Right. I
politics and
mean that
religion.
whole thing is designed to drive families apart and
Yeah,
friendships apart. Well, there's only these
absolutely.
two sides. Well, there's more than two
Yeah,
sides to this coin,
yeah,
but the political
yeah.
system is designed, a
Mhm.
three-party system when one party's never going to stand a chance and the other two are going to
Yeah,
gang up on this one, and it's just like, man,
yeah.
you, you we need prison reform, we need political reform, we need
Yes, we
school
do.
reform, and the world's getting there, right? The world's
Yeah.
getting there. The world is changing. I saw the most fantastic machine today that's changing the farming world. And sure, it's like a $1 million machine, but it goes
Mhm.
out in the field and identifies where the weeds are growing and uses lasers to zap the
Oh
weeds
my
so that they don't
goodness.
have to use herbicides that are chemically made.
Wow.
And that's where this world is coming to, guys. So if
Yeah.
you're feeling down about the fact of herbicides and pesticides in our food, AI and hardworking individuals and scientists are out there trying to figure out how to make
Mhm.
our food healthier and safer for us to eat. And they're using lasers. I mean, come on, man, lasers to kill
I
weeds.
know.
That is so cool,
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
right?
Heat My Short says, "Oh, man, I need a weed laser." I do too.
Not that
I do
kind.
too.
Wait, maybe
Can I
kind.
get like a I might take like even $1,000 one. Can I have like $1,000, or 500, but thou I could manage $1,000 one.
Yeah, I believe actually my
I don't know about a
landlord was saying
million.
that they do have these smaller gardening robots for
Uh-huh.
people now. And
Wow.
I was like, man, that's going to be great for like elderly
Mhm.
people and
Oh,
disabled
yeah.
people
Or
and
just
like,
people.
or just regular people. Be like, hey, man, you want to come over? We're having a barbecue. We're going to watch the robot plant the
Yeah.
carrots. You know what I mean?
Well, the worst part about about gardening is the weeding of it, just getting rid of, keeping the weeds out of it. The planting and all that, watering it, all that harvesting, I love all of that. But the weeding, ugh,
Yeah.
I just hate it.
Yeah. I've actually found a place in my heart last year where I no longer hate weeding
Oh
because I
yeah.
found myself, I spend a lot of time listening to motivational speeches when I'm out in the garden.
Oh yeah.
And,
That would be good.
just listening to like Alan Watts and things like
Mhm.
this. And one of them was talking about living in the moment and
Mhm.
how some of us were always in such a rush to get to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing that we forget about where we are. And I was out
Mhm.
there, and the Bluetooth speaker had died, and I didn't
Mm.
feel like reaching in my pocket and hitting play on my phone so that the speech would keep going. And I just continued weeding. And I was just thinking about this and that and the other thing. And next thing I knew, I wasn't thinking about anything. I was
Yeah.
actually just in the
Yeah.
moment, weeding, doing the job that needed to be done. And then I
Mhm.
noticed that I was in the moment and it was gone. And I felt
Yeah.
this moment of sadness of like, bro, you were just there.
Yeah.
You were just there in this
I
moment
know.
that all of the Buddhist monks talk about, reaching that moment where you're
Mhm.
just living in the moment. There's no care of the future. There's no care of the past. There's
Mhm.
only now. And I was like, man, we were there. And
Yeah.
and I found
Yeah.
it while weeding. So now I don't despise it as
Yeah.
much as I used to because I
Yeah.
found a new tool to add to my
Mhm.
belt when I was out there doing it, you know?
Mm.
How
Yeah.
are your
You know
channel for, smoking? Would you prefer if I cam
No,
down?
you can. No, you
Okay.
can.
I
You
I
can.
generally cam down in other podcasts when I'm smoking cigarettes because I know YouTube doesn't like it,
No,
but
you can do it. It's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't care what YouTube likes.
awesome. No, no, you know what I mean? It's just a politeness thing. It's
Yeah.
like you don't smoke
Yeah.
in somebody else's house without asking. And
Yeah. No,
I
you're
feel
fine.
when I'm on somebody else's channel, I'm in their home. So I
Yeah.
wanted to just,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks, Susie.
You were talking about that where you're not thinking about anything, that your mind is just clear, basically. I get there whenever I paint. Not all the time, but if I'm ever going to do it, it's when I'm painting, and I'll look up and I have gotten way further in painting. I won't even realize how I got so far on it, and I'll think, "I haven't even thought about," and then, like you said, it's gone. The
Yeah.
minute that you realize you're there, it's gone and you can't get it back.
Yep.
It's so just like, "Oh, man, that was great." It's like the most relaxing. It's better than sleep. It's, like, completely better than sleep because your mind is just completely at ease, and it is awesome. So if you
Right.
get that weeding, I've got a nice little place you can come down to Oklahoma and weed all you want.
Well, it's funny, right? As a convicted drug felon, I'm not allowed in your country, but I
Yeah,
make jokes with my cousin Christine all the time. And like when my mom passed, I was left some money, which I don't have any left, but it was put in trust through
yeah,
my cousin because I'm on a disability pension, right? They didn't want the
yeah,
government to take my inheritance. But I kept
yeah.
making jokes with her because I've got a good friend, Morgan, that lives in Arizona. And I kept saying to
Mhm.
my cousin Christine, I was like, man, I think I'm going to fly down to Mexico and just get a one-way ticket. And she's like, well, how are you going to get home? And I was like, well, my plan is to just walk across the border into Arizona and go meet my friend Morgan. And when I want to get home, I'll just go get arrested and they'll deport me back to Canada. Right.
That's pretty brilliant. I hadn't
Right.
thought of that.
Except for,
That's
probably
great.
the 2 years I'd be stuck in some sketchy US
Yes.
prison waiting for my
Yeah.
deporting. Right.
True, because 'cause we're not known for hurrying. We're real fast to grab you, but we don't hurry up and get you sent where you need to go.
Too,
I don't
too
know,
funny.
they might do it with you, you're not dark skinned, so
Right. Right.
they might rush it with you, like, "Oh, he probably just goes to Canada, we'll send him on back." So, how did you meet Sam?
I met Sam through the lifeboat.
Really?
I
So
did.
you were a
And
lifeboater too?
it's just interesting. See, I met the lifeboat through Sean Atwood because I was a mod for
Uh-huh.
Sean Atwood for several years. And
Really?
it was just interesting. And Sam and I have talked about this, so I know he won't mind me sharing it because I think we even talked about it when I was live with him. The first time I seen Sam on the lifeboat, I was like, man, I know this guy. And
Huh.
I was like, where do I know this guy from? It was driving me crazy. And then
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I got my other channel, Legal Livewire. Make sure to go check it out. So I went over and I checked out his Legal Livewire channel. And I was just like, man, I don't know. But, and then like when I seen him on or whatnot, he said like, you know, he's from LA and he'd been
Mhm.
time in prison. And the only time he'd been to Canada was on the West Coast. And I was like, so there's no way I know this guy.
Yeah.
You know, but I was like, how do I'm like, I feel like I know him.
Yeah.
And Sam, the very thing too, he said that the first time he saw my name in the chat group, he was like, James Collins cares. I think I know this guy. And it's like we
That's
just had
strange.
this feeling that we've known each other. And legit,
Mhm.
when we talk on the phone, it's legit. It's like we've known each other
Mhm.
forever.
That's how it
And
is with him and I tell everybody he's my brother. He's like a
it's
brother
Soul
to me,
Tribe, Susie. It's Soul
you know?
Tribe. We have known each
Yeah.
other in a previous existence. We were meant to
Mhm.
meet through 6 degrees of
Yeah.
separation.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Well, I
it's just
really
what
do
it
feel
is.
that way, especially with Sam, and I feel that way, like, whenever I saw you, I thought, "This is somebody I've got to know." Like, I wanted to know you immediately, and so finally we get together and talk. But,
Yeah, I'm so glad we have this opportunity. It's really nice.
yeah, it is nice. But with Sam, he is such a just a good soul, he truly is, and I had that with him too. Whenever, I first started watching him, I just immediately felt connected to him, and I guess he did too, because he, like, immediately started saying, "I'm his sister," and all this stuff. It's just strange, it's really
Yeah,
strange, like you said, some kind of past connection. It's the only thing that makes sense,
it,
really.
it really
So,
is. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's just like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just strange because like myself, I'm a white dude. But and like he
Yeah,
talks about like, you know, when he went to prison, he could have went with Chicanos or he could have went with the
yeah,
whites. He's like, but I couldn't do that whole Mikolo thing. And I was like, man, that's blood in, blood out. When I was a kid and saw that movie, I fell in love with
yeah,
Chicano culture,
yeah,
right? And like I
yeah,
used to dress that way a little bit when I was skateboarding and stuff. And then I stopped for the
yeah,
longest time because I felt like I was like appropriating their culture or something like
yeah.
this.
I know
But
what you mean, though.
Then Sam said to me, he goes, "Oh no, man, in LA, like white dudes that are surfers and skateboarders and shit, they dress that way and stuff too." So I was just like, "Oh, okay, it's safe to dress that way
Yeah,
again." But I mean, like legit, the respect on my forehead is done in Cholo Gang style
yeah.
lettering. The pure love on my eyelids, and
Aw,
I have hard life on my collarbone as well with the exact same scripture. I have
yeah,
sacrificed love and truth in Hispanic scripture on my arm. I always
yeah,
just had this like inner lowrider
yeah,
Chicano person in me, even though I'm a white guy. And
yeah.
I think that that connection through the movie, in a sense,
Mhm,
was like God saying, like, bro, you know, you're gonna meet a man in your life who's gonna be like an older brother to you that you can
mhm,
talk about with anything, and he'll never make you
mhm.
ashamed or never afraid
Yeah,
to speak to. And you know, it took like 40 years for that to, or
yeah.
whatever, 30 some years for that to happen.
But but in
But
the grand scheme of things, that's like the blink of an
it's a
eye,
blink of
not
an eye.
even,
You know,
Yeah,
it was this like, yeah, man, you have a connection with
yeah.
this person because you're actually going to meet this person, a person that's like this in real life, and
Mhm,
you'll be able to
mhm,
explain to them how you've just always had this love for this culture or whatnot. And
mhm.
it's just, yeah, it's because my brother is that person. My brother is
Yeah,
this white Chicano, you
yeah.
know.
I grew up out in California on a ranch, but the school where I went to school was, mostly Mexican and all the Chicano thing, with the lowriders and the whole bit. And if I wasn't dressed, for I mean, we rodeoed and all that kind of thing because of the whole ranch business. So if I wasn't in like my boots and jeans and that whole thing, when I went to school, I was in like khaki pants, like the baggy khaki pants with those little black Mary Jane shoes and like a
Yeah,
white t-shirt, and looking like I was a little Mexican girl.
yeah, right, right.
And I was white as could be, but But nobody cared. I mean, back then, nobody, they didn't like think that I was trying to act Mexican or anything. It was just that it's what we did, and
Yep.
it was just so funny that you mentioned that, that you were kind of doing that whole thing too. Like, yeah, I
David
went
had
around
it
with my
so right there.
friends.
Suicidal tendencies, rock the cholo look, man. Mike
Yeah.
Murr, suicidal tendencies. All I wanted was a Pepsi, just one Pepsi, baby. Yeah.
Aw. But
Great
yeah,
stuff.
it's just such a like I have friends now that I went to high school with back then that are absolutely still, completely submerged in that whole culture. I mean, they're actually Mexican women,
Yeah,
women, but anyway, they still do the whole low rider thing and everything. And the strangest thing, I don't know Spanish. I do not know how to speak Spanish. I think everybody can pick up a word here or there, but I don't know it. But my husband said that sometimes I talk in my sleep and I speak Spanish in my
right.
sleep.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, and it'll be like I'm dreaming and I'll remember the dream, but I don't remember that I was speaking Spanish. Like, I remember the dream, but I don't remember speaking Spanish in it. It's just so weird. It
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
crazy.
Too
So,
much, right?
I don't know. Yeah.
Hey,
And
I,
I always say I don't believe in reincarnation, but I think I kinda do because there's just like, where does that come from if not some kind of past life, So I don't
that's
know.
right. That's right. Or or maybe it's preparing for a future one.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
Maybe
I
you're
don't
going
know.
to come back as a mamacita who
Yeah.
drives around in like a El Camino
Uh-huh.
lowrider with chrome spoke rims
Yeah.
and like the hydraulics, and I could just
Yeah. All those batteries in the back and oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah,
You
yeah.
open the trunk and it's just loaded with batteries. Oh, wow. It's so fun. I just it's funny because, I mean, I've lived here since in Oklahoma since I was 15, so I'm not around that, I've not been around that whole, way of life in all these years, but if we go back and I see some of my friends or, if I'm on Facebook or something and talking to my friends, it just takes me right back, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, I just remember all this." But yeah, the whole talking Spanish in my sleep is bizarre.
Yeah, very right.
Yeah, but
Well, at
oh
least
well.
it's a known language. You're not speaking in tongues. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like stuff's levitating off the dresser. And
Oh, no. No. It's just funny because if he says, "Say this or say that," I'm like, "I don't know." I don't. I don't know
yeah,
how to speak Spanish, but apparently I do somewhere.
yeah. I mostly just know the ones that when I watch certain movies with the subtitles,
Mhm.
and most of it's just slang. Like when
Yeah.
they go "chale," it means like
Yeah.
no way, you
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
like "la pinche jura" means the fucking
Yeah.
cops,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
yeah, just all
Yeah, I know a lot of the cuss words.
yeah, ghetto slang, right?
Yeah. I know a lot of those, but but that's about it. But that's hilarious, though. So, are you married or ever been married or have children,
I
anything
was
like that?
married. I was
Mhm.
married. I am separated now for 9, 10 years. Um, she's I guess she's technically still my wife because we're not divorced or whatnot, but I haven't
Mhm.
seen her in about 3 years. She's got a kid with some I'm not going to divulge any of her personal information.
No, I understand now.
She's going through her own struggles right now, and I pray for
Yeah.
her to find the place in which she needs to become
Yeah.
the full potential and the best version of herself that she could be.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
13 years, we were together for 13 years, and like 9.5 to 11.5 of those years were really awesome, you know?
Really?
And there was
Yeah.
two of those, and there's about 2 years or so that weren't so great. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it
Yeah.
just didn't work out. So yeah.
Lord Kiss Freak says, "My truck looks pretty redneck parked at a casino next to a Porsche."
Yeah, it fit
Uh,
right in here, parked beside the silos.
yeah,
Oh, I'm glad you made it
absolutely.
safe there, Lord Kiss Freak. I'm glad to know that you're there to do the things that you need to do.
John says he thinks I need a past life assist. He's going all Scientology on us. I'm gonna check in on some of the starred comments. We have a few, not a whole lot, but we have a few. If anybody has any questions or comments, just mark those for us and we will be glad to get to them.
Most
So,
definitely.
Mayor says many religions believe that there is only one God slash creator and that each can support the others. Yeah. Yeah. And this one says, I was recently telling someone that I really enjoyed attending services in as many different religions as possible. Those experiences in mosques, churches, synagogues, etc., have only strengthened my faith. Cool. And made
Beautiful.
me more accepting of others' beliefs. Yeah, that is really cool. That's really cool.
It is, most certainly. You know, that's like why I
Absolutely.
wanted to go to India and help out at one of the places where they feed 6 to 10,000 people a day for
Oh,
free.
wow.
You know, and I
Wow.
want to, and I will get there. I know I will someday because it's meant for me to go there and offer
Mhm.
my services at that place. You know,
Yeah.
I want to go for like 2 weeks, spend 7 of my days doing giving to the world, and 7 of the days doing the
Mhm.
things I want to do. You know, but
Yeah.
it would be like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
can you? I've seen the pots that they use to cook the lentils and stuff. They're
Yeah.
like 10 feet wide and like
I
nine
know, it's
feet deep.
amazing.
They're stirring them with these big, huge boards. And it's just like,
Yeah.
hey, I want to go there and like, hey, do you need me to wash the serving trays? Do you need me to chop vegetables? Do you need me to stir lentils?
Yeah,
Do you need me to
anything.
carry
Any
firewood? What do
Yeah.
you need of me to help provide this service for all these people that you're doing? Because,
Mhm.
like, man, it's just so awesome to
Oh,
see
yeah, that
that
is.
it's, yeah, like people just giving to it to
Mhm.
give.
Yeah, Teresa says, "I definitely think humanity exists between division." I do too. I really do. I truly do.
It does. If we
Crazy
just
says,
concentrate on the things that we have in common rather than the things that we
"Absolutely."
don't have in common, like then we
Yeah.
can become a stronger community.
Mhm. Brazy says, "Faith, hope, and spirit is your own religion." Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I heard this wonderful woman speaking one day, and she said the most beautiful thing. And she said, you don't need to be religious or Christian to be a child of God.
Yeah, that's
And
beautiful.
it made me cry. Like I'm
Yeah.
watching YouTube and all of this woman's like, well, you don't need to be religious or Christian to be a child of God. And I was like, oh my God, you're the most beautiful
Yeah.
fucking human being in the
Yeah.
world. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Wow. Oh, he my short says, "I like your boats, James." So,
Oh, thank
yeah,
you. I'm
those
a
are
big
cool.
fan of boaty stuff. I can turn my camera in here
Mhm.
and show you one of my favorite paintings. On the
Yeah,
back
yeah.
wall, there is it's like a ghost ship.
Yeah, 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 I see it. Wow.
Yeah, I love pirate stuff and Viking
Yeah, I do
stuff.
too.
I just think that, I mean, there's just something about the open ocean and the freedom. I mean, not so much the rape and pillage. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm not a big fan of
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? But the rest of it sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
yeah.
roasted
Absolutely.
meat, rum, cigars, peg legs, and
Yeah.
parrots. You know? Oh, a
Yeah.
pirate. I like
Yeah.
that.
I'm a pirate. Yeah. Mm. Pete's funny. He's always coming up with something. So, let's see here. I was trying to see if I had any I was gonna ask you, what are some of your favorite things to cook? Do you cook a lot of different stuff, or I see
I,
you did jams and all that, but
yeah,
do
I
you
mean,
cook?
one of my favorite things to make is probably butter toffee covered pecans with milk chocolate melted on the top of it.
Oh, wow, that
Uh,
sounds good. Yeah.
I really enjoy making Mongolian spicy beef.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I like making tomato gravy from scratch. and then
Yeah.
deciding if that is going to be used for a bolognese sauce or is it
Yeah.
going to be used to make chili or pizza
Mhm.
sauce. I love to
I
bake.
made this really, really cool juice that I use for everything, and because I make my own salsa, and
Me too.
so I made all this salsa, and, then it gets very juicy, and I wanted it to be more of a thicker, not I mean, it was ground down, it was small, it wasn't big chunks, but I wanted it to be thicker. So I drained this juice off of it and saved it back over there and then canned it, and it
Yep.
makes the best soups and just everything, and you can actually just drink it, like, and to heat it it's kinda like a V8 juice, I don't know if you have V8 juice in
Oh
cans,
yeah, I love a
but
good.
it's
It could have
kinda
had a
like
V8.
that. Yeah, yeah. It's better than that, and it's got, all the fresh vegetables and everything, but it is so good, but we use it for soups and chilies and just everything, and it is
Awesome.
so delicious, and
What type
drink
of
it.
tomatoes do you use for making your salsa?
I use the oh boy, what are they called? The name just went out of my head. Oh, man.
San
Rome
Marzano,
those
Roma
those
tomatoes?
no, I use the Romas. Yeah,
Romas, right, right. So the
yeah.
variety of Romas that I find is the best would be the San Marzano variety.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
have more of a pointy end than a rounded
yeah,
end, like a lot of the Romas.
yeah, that's what we use.
Nice. Yeah, I have about 40 of those plants in my greenhouse right now. I'm only going to put in
Oh,
like
wow.
25, but because the
Yeah,
25, I'll be able to grow like 25 plants. I'll probably get 500 to 700 pounds of tomatoes.
yeah.
You know,
Wow. Yeah. We've got ours all out already. Everything's out in the garden. We do it in containers just because
Yep.
our soil is so bad here, so we do it where we can kinda mix our own soil, and then we do composting to make it even better and
Awesome.
stuff like that. Mark does it all, but yeah.
Yeah. You could tell him to get a 5 gallon pail with a lid and fill the
Yeah.
5 gallon pail up with weeds and
Mhm.
compress it and add a little bit of water, then put the lid back on and let it ferment with itself for like 8 weeks, and it'll
Yeah.
become. And then you filter that, and
Mhm.
like you can filter by putting a spout on the bottom of the pail actually, and you
Mhm.
can make your own organic fertilizer that way to
Cool.
really
Excellent.
boost your plant's
Excellent.
immunity and
Yeah.
depending on the type of weeds that you use, you can make it more nitrogen rich by using the weeds that grow the fastest. They
Mhm.
have the most nitrogen in them. So by using those to
Cool.
make fermented plant foods, you can have a nitrogen booster.
Mm. Very funny, John. He says, "Susie, all those enchiladas before bed is while you're speaking Spanish in your sleep."
Oh, enchiladas sound really good. Or
Yeah.
empanadas,
Yes.
or
I
like,
don't care what it is. Anything Mexican. If you
yeah,
could put it on a tortilla, I'll eat it. I like it. I
yeah.
make my own tortillas too. I like or flour tortillas. So yeah. Keep My
I
Short says I
accidentally,
accidentally killed my tomatoes and about a third of my pepper plants this week. He says gardening teaches us humility. Oh boy.
oh, geez.
That's
Yes,
depressing.
it is.
That
It
is
really
depressing.
is.
Oh,
Yeah, like I
yeah.
just got my melon garden prepped today. It can hold 16 plants, so I'll put in
Yeah.
6 of the Diana watermelons, which are a
Mhm.
yellow,
Mhm.
and they only
Oh,
grow about a
wow, yeah.
kilo. And then I'm going to grow some honeydews and some cantaloupes again. The
Mhm.
watermelon variety I grew last year is called Crimson Sweet, and they grow 7 to
Yeah.
15 kilos. And I had
Yeah.
30 pounders, and like
Wow.
it's just too much watermelon. 8 of them
Yeah.
went to my compost because everyone I knew
Oh,
had bought a watermelon and had been given a watermelon. And it got
yeah.
to the point when I called, they weren't even answering their phones anymore because they
Yeah.
knew I was just going to be, hey, man, do you want another free half watermelon?
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, we have, honeydews and cantaloupes and watermelons and,
Nice.
pumpkins too.
Beauty. Yeah, there's the
So,
pumpkins are always fun to grow as well.
yeah. 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 Honeydews and cantaloupes are so good. Keep My Short says, yeah. Do you know I
Yeah,
really don't like them, but I I like to grow them. I'll eat them. I don't like cantaloupes, but I like honeydews pretty good, and I
Oh man,
love
yeah.
watermelons.
I love them all. And like the cantaloupes that I grew last year, my cousin who's a chef was like, these are the best cantaloupes I've eaten in my entire life. You know,
Wow.
and he's like, how did you grow them so well? And I just told him what I did. And then I was like, and when it came to harvesting, I got down on my hands and knees. And when I could smell the melon from 10 inches, 12 inches away from it, and
Yeah.
I picked it up and it fell off the vine, it's
Yeah.
vine ripened. It ain't getting much better. I mean, they
Yeah.
were starting to rot 4 days after I picked them because they were
Yeah.
so vine ripened that it was just
Yeah.
like, well, gotta eat them quick. I was
Yep.
making
Yep.
smoothies. I was freezing it. I dehydrated some. Like
Aw.
I made cantaloupe sorbet. It was with my ice cream maker. That was really good.
Yeah.
There's a short on
Wow.
my channel if anybody wants to go and check that out.
Yeah. Well, that is cool. So, do you have any other hobbies besides gardening and getting
Uh,
tattoos?
I like to fish. I like to
Mhm.
forage in nature for wild
Yep.
food, wild
Yeah.
leeks and berries and fiddleheads and wild mushrooms when the season is
Mhm.
right for chanterelles.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
love
like
wild mushrooms.
just like hobbies, I enjoy listening to music.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and like a wide variety of people listen and checked out my playlist. They'd be like, "What?" It's like from
Yeah.
Tupac Shakur to Pink
Yeah.
Floyd to Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
just like a
I'm
little bit of
kinda that way.
everything, you know?
I'm kinda that way. Oh, yeah, Stacia says that she does the same thing. If you can smell a melon, it's ready. Yep.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. Joel says, "We have a little kitten that I rescued a few days ago. He had a bad cut on his leg. I have to go and change his bandage. I named him Sparky. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Sees ya." Yeah,
Oh,
Joel's a
well,
sweetheart.
Joel, way to go rescuing a little kitty.
He
And
has an actual rescue. He has like, he started a rescue and everything for
oh,
cats. It's
geez, wow,
amazing.
that's amazing. Well, thank you for what you're doing
Yeah,
for all the little
it is
fur buddies out
amazing.
there. And you know, our
Yeah,
prayers will go out to that little Sparky cat. You know,
yeah. Well, James, I think I'm gonna call that good. We've went an hour and a half.
for
That's
sure,
about my good zone, but I'd love to invite you to come back on and just visit with us another time. We'll have to
most
do that
certainly.
again soon.
You know,
Absolutely. I've
and
thoroughly enjoyed it.
if you would allow me to just have 1 minute at the on streams, I like to
Absolutely.
at the end. I just like to say to the person who's watching this right now, you're worth it.
Absolutely.
So believe in yourself because sometimes people won't believe in you until you start believing in
Mhm.
yourself. And you might be blessed enough to make a massive change in your life to the point where you don't even see it, but everyone else sees it. They say, "Oh
Mhm.
wow, why is Paul, you know, he's just a better version of himself today." And it's all
Yeah.
because of maybe one small decision that you made. There's no bad
Mhm.
people, there's only bad decisions. Thank you for having me on your channel today,
Thank
Susie,
you.
and
Thank you.
thank you all for being here, and I wish you a blessed day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Come back and see us, though.
I will. Remember, when somebody says nobody cares, James Collins
James
cares.
Collins cares.
Thanks for
Yeah.
watching, and I believe in you.
Thank you. Well, wasn't he just great? I just really enjoyed having him on here. And, yeah, I just, he'll have to come back with us sometime. I wasn't really realizing that today was gonna turn into such a good addition to our whole men's mental health, but it turned out good, didn't it, John, back there? It turned into a good one for Men's Mental Health Month. So, yeah, James is awesome. He does have his own channel. It's called James Collins Cares, and, I will put his link in my post, in the community post. I'll put his link there if we don't have it on here yet. If he's in the audience, he can, put it in the James, you might put it in the comments after the show. I'll put it there too. Uh, I kind of our, StreamYard was down today, guys, and so I wasn't sure if we were gonna get to go live or not. And so I feel like I'm not altogether there. I'm not ready for today's show for some reason. So it kinda threw me, but Yes, thank you, James. Thank you so much. And would you please go on the comments after the live and put your link to your channel in there? We'll get you some more subscribers. He absolutely needs all the subscribers that he can get because we need all the subscribers to the positive channels, y'all. We really do. So, but anyway, I thank you all for being here. I will be back tomorrow. I think I have actually 2 shows tomorrow, one at 6 and one at 8. So, I'll see you then. Thank you for being here and have a great rest of your day.
Hope you enjoyed the show, so glad you were here. We meet here most days, we're but first coffee and you're welcome here. We talk about hard subjects, but we also laugh a lot. If you have a loss or win, we will cheer for you. We're but first coffee, and you are safe here. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't wanna miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't wanna miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all.